look at some of these budget beasts that that I kind of went through and found specifically on the offensive side, and then we can dig around a little bit on the other side. So starting with wide receiver side, one of the things that we're starting just in general, the elites that are out right now, the speeds look like they're sitting in the 81 to 84 time frame, or 81 to 84 range. And so that's what I was looking for, is trying to find some budget players that we might be able to get a hold of that aren't super expensive, but maybe have comparable sort of speed. I don't know, you know, like I said, it could be early, and it could be right on the 6th. It just really depends on when those app stores release. So although EA, you know, they'll submit the game, it's up to the app stores then to determine when those actually go live. And so you really just have to make sure you've got your notifications turned on in the app store, so that way you can you know, be notified when it's ready for download. And I think some of them, you know, you can set them up to where it'll auto download as soon as it's ready to go, and that way you're ready to hit the ground running. So let's take a look. Wide receiver is one of the first ones that I looked at. Again, the speed ranges that I'm seeing on the elite side, and that's funny, we got Van Ginkel first up there on the auction house. But the thing, and I don't know what's up with my lighting today. I readjusted everything, and I'm still half disappearing on the screen. But the wide receivers I started with, you know, looking at, you know, again, their speeds sit in the 80 to 84 range, and so I really wanted to try to find some budget players that were not super expensive that would help. Let me see if I can get that to reset. Sometimes if I reset it off my thumb, it'll work. I don't know what's going on. So there are a few wide receivers, quite a few. The number one wide receiver speed-wise actually has a 79 Tyreek Hill that sits on the auction house right now, and he's going to be expensive, right? So if you look at him, that's a 79 overall player, and he's sitting there at 79 overall, but 366K, right? But he also has wicked speed for the early stage of the game, 85 speed. Certainly he's a beast, but he is by no means a budget beast. Yeah, so MM Mark, yeah, there are timers. You just can't see them. The text is black. So right now in the soft launch version, you had black text with the black background, and so when they changed that, the text didn't get updated, and so that's why we have that set up there with the text. Let's see, if we go into the card, I'm not sure even we can see the timer there. So there you can see the timer on the bottom, that green text. But like I said, the timer is right there. You just can't see it because the font color is black. So hopefully that helps clarify that a little bit. But let's look at the budget beast, right? Like I said, Hill is the fastest one out there, I think, right now at 85. Is absolutely, yeah, he's one of those that you want to hope to pull out of a pack. But then we have the ones that I picked up. The key ones that I saw were 80 speed for the most part. So if you look through the list of 70s and 71 gold players that are available, those are going to be in the 80 speed range is what you're going to find. You know, those, if we look through and we find some of these, I think Brandon, trying to find my key ones that I had here. Geronimo Allison was one of those. So Geronimo Allison, 13K coins, and he's sitting at 80 speed overall. So he's got elite type speed, but is a gold for 13K. The lowest ranked one that I've found so far are the 70 overalls that have 80 speed, but the best one is Marquise Brown. And if we look at Marquise Brown, we have, let's pull him up here. Hopefully he's still in the auction house. There we go. So he is a 71 overall player, but we have 82 speed on this guy, right? His catch is not bad. So if we look at the catch for that, it's pretty high. Now his strength is low. You know, he can't block worth anything. He's got impact block of -32 from the guy that I have currently compared to my 71 overall Reed. But certainly 82 overall speed. Is a deep threat wide receiver, and I am seeing this archetype consistency that you know, we talked about before, is that most of the deep threat wide receivers have higher speed overall. And so that's been cool to see that consistency as I've gone through. So the only ones that are on the auction house right now, Combine, and yeah, Speed. So the auction house has changed. Nick's going to have to tell you about the changes that are there, and some of those roll into the reason, part of the reasons why we have a new app. And so you know, hopefully that's something Nick will get into before the game goes live. So his catch in traffic. So if you look at Brown's catch in traffic, we'll have to compare it to my my guy here. So his catch in traffic is -3 compared to Reed on my team. So if we look at my current team and we pull up Reed, we'll see his catch in traffic is, where's his CIT? 70. So he's probably sitting at like a 67 catch in traffic Milligator. So you want story time, Combine? So I think he's the best budget beast that I've found so far is Marquise Brown. And then we have Dede Westbrook is also a really good one. Dede Westbrook, let's look at the pricing there. You see Marquise is going for 8,400, and so that's you know, that's pretty solid pricing there for an 82 overall. I mean, he's essentially the second fastest wide receiver, looks like, in the game. We won't know fully until we get the you know, the stats from the from Root and everything. Oh yeah, they're going to be low, Milligator. I mean, early on, you're not going to have high-end stats for the most part. And so he's probably the second fastest wide receiver, at least the second fastest one that I've found. Dede Westbrook is the other one that's really fast. He's got an 81 speed, or I'm sorry, 80 speed on Dede Westbrook, and he sits at a 72. But he's been running 4,900 5K coins, which is a really light price compared to some of these other wide receivers that are in here sitting in the 14 to 20K range. So those are my first two. May actually try to pull the trigger on that Marquise Brown to get him at the 82 because my guys are all slower, even though they're a little bit higher overall. You can see my Larry Fitzgerald sits at 75 speed, right? He's a 75 overall, 75 speed, so you'd figure, oh man, that should kill his overall. But look what he is. He's a physical wide receiver, right? And so because he's a physical wide receiver, we can see the stats that are pulling up his overall to make him a 75 overall player. We see that he's got really good acceleration. We see that his jump is really high, so that's pulling his stats up. He has, you know, again, you can see that weighting, which we've talked about multiple times. CIT for Larry Fitzgerald is 76. So again, he's got a really nice CIT, which again, for a physical wide receiver, that's one of those stats that's going to weigh in a little bit heavier on that particular stat. Yeah, I've seen a Metcalf. He was not on my budget beasts list, but I will pull up the Metcalf and you guys can see. Nope, got to spell it right though. M-E-T-C. Let's maybe not get a typo. I don't see DK. He's not on the AH right now, but he is there. There is a base Metcalf, I believe, that I saw. I'm 99% sure I saw a base Metcalf sitting there. But 76 CIT is excellent. You know, one of the reasons why I picked up Larry Fitzgerald, or kept him on my team instead of using him in another set of some kind. You can see also I've got Joe Reed there. Joe Reed's got 78 speed. If you can find him, he's a solid add. Again, he's not 80 speed overall, but you can see 78 speed is pretty solid. 80 acceleration. He's got 70 catch in traffic, which is pretty good. And you can see his overall catch stats, 70, 72. All those things pretty decent overall. Again, he's another slot type wide receiver, not a deep threat. So again, his speed is not contributing a lot to his OVR, right? But again, Joe Reed is another one of those that I think is a pretty solid add if you can find him on the AH once you get started. Again, I think early on in the game, I don't mean to spend too much time on the wide receivers, but I do think that wide receiver is one of those early on in the game that can make a huge difference, right? Gives you a weapon that you can go over the top Well, that changes for me as I go throughout the game. I think early on, I think speed is probably the best thing for a wide receiver, as well as the catch and catch in traffic stats. I think those are probably nope. You dropped this. There's no new info on that at all. But certainly speed, CIT, and then I think those are the early stats that are really important. And then and I think awareness, that's one of those that for me is always a big stat, Fred. That's one that I look for all the time. If it's too low, they're just going to run crazy, be all over the place. They're not going to block like they need to. As the game progresses and as we get into it, then I start looking more for wide receivers that can block, right? Early on, the wide receivers typically have very, very bad blocking stats. And, we can see that if we look at these guys. The wide receivers that are out here, even a 75 physical wide receiver, I can't see all of his stats, but look at his impact block. 57, right? I can't see that. Like I said, I can't see his full stat profile right now, but you can see that's not very good, right? 75 overall. Even if we look at my 80 overall, Julio, who is a route running wide receiver, look at that impact block, 46. So the meta tends to be that early on in the game, and I'm sorry, my left arm is disappearing. I need to change my where I'm sitting here in this crazy light setup that I've got here. But certainly, I think the speed and CIT are really important early on in the game. Speed, most importantly, I think, because that's going to help you get over the defenders as they are going to be weaker. They're going to be slower. The cornerbacks that people have access to are going to be fairly slow. And so I think getting over the top is and being able to break off coverage on the inside routes or crossing routes are going to be tend to be more important than some of the other stats early on. As I move into the game, then I start looking for, and we get more wide receivers that have better blocking stats, then that's what I try to look for are the, see if I can pull the camera up just a little bit there. And that's what I try to start looking for then is are those blocking stats, because I want wide receivers that can block, especially running spread. If you're running any scheme or if you're running a scheme in a way that you like to run the ball, then those blocking wide receivers start to become really, really important as the game progresses. But let's take a look. The other second most important position, I think. Quarterback, I kind of glossed over a little bit here. I talk about the quarterbacks as we get towards the bottom of the offense. But the second, I think quarterback is really important, especially if you're running spread, but everyone's going to have access to Lamar, right? So everyone can run this Lamar. He's got excellent speed, 82. He's got really good awareness, 80. Throw power, 80. Throw accuracy short is 80. His deep throw accuracy and mid is a little bit light, but still, 75, 80 early on in the game. You can see his agility, 83, acceleration, 83, and he is a scrambler type quarterback, scrambler archetype quarterback. And so everyone has access to him, which I think it's going to be tough to really replace Lamar until he just becomes obsolete and we get much better options at the quarterback position, right? So my second most important position, I think, outside of getting your wide receiver set up, is going to be the halfback. Now, I got lucky and pulled Philip Lindsay out of a pack, and he is absolutely a solid add on any team, I think. And certainly, you can see 82 speed. So again, the elites that we see right now in the game look like they're running about 80 to 84 overall. And that's your speed range that you see. So you've got Philip Lindsay here sitting at a 73 as an elusive halfback type with really nice 82 speed, really good acceleration. He doesn't have a lot of strength. So you're not going to necessarily be running over people with him, and he's short, right? He's 5'8", 190 pounds, but I kind of like that. He's got that Barry Sanders-ish feel to him, and I think that's that's interesting. Yeah. So I'll show you some ones that I've got for throw power and ACC Meligator. I'll show you those budget beasts that I have for those. Man, this lighting is driving me crazy. My arm like completely disappeared. So I don't know what's going on. But if we look again, Lindsay is a really nice one. He's got you know, excellent stats overall. But again, you can see his blocking doesn't appear to be very good. He's got a 24 impact block, worse than some of the wide receivers. But let's take a look at the budget beast that I think for halfback. And at halfback, there's quite a few options. The best one looks like it's probably Jason Huntley, who's sitting out right now at a 80. I think he's sitting at an 83 speed, I think is what I wrote down over here. Let me pull him in here and you guys can see. Oh, let's change it to halfback so we got the right skill position here. And so yeah, so there we can see Jason Huntley, and we're running, that one's running, he's the receiving back. Let me find, he was a 59 actually, it's his bronze card. So you see this 63 is a receiving back, right? And his speed is not very good, 73. But this Jason Huntley right here is the receiving back, but he also has an 83 speed. So his 59 is different compared to his other card. Now I don't know what that's going to be on the you know, when the game actually launches, but right now that bronze card, that 59 bronze card, selling for 1,800 to 2,000 coins on the auction house, and you can pick up an 83 speed halfback, which is quite amazing. So he is probably my top choice right now if you need just a real budget beast. That Jason Huntley, anybody, I mean, playing one event, and you'll have enough coins. When you start the game and go through the tutorial pieces, you'll have enough coins to hit the auction house and pick him up. Now again, his other stats are going to be terrible, right? He does not have good strength. You can see that 57 strength. He has 42 truck, can't catch, 49 his awareness is bad, but just for raw speed, you know, he's we can see that. Let's maybe buy him. We'll put him on a team and let's see what he plays like. Let's see how he looks on the field. Actually, I think that would be cool to see. The other budget beasts that I had on here, there's some nice 63s and 70s. So if we look at Khalfani Muhammad, let's pull him up. He's a solid option, I think, at halfback for as a budget beast. Come on, surely there's got to be one of those left on there. Let's see if we can search by his first name. K-H-A-L. Make sure I don't have anything set. Oh, there we go. Okay. So they're really nice. You can see a 77 speed, right? Not 80. He's not in that elite range of speed, but we have overall 77 speed. He has, you know, pretty nice trucking. Actually, his truck sits at 52, which is not bad for a low-end, you know, a silver player. Actually has a higher pass block than the 70 overall elite or the gold that I have in my roster right now. Agility is on par with that gold player. So again, you can see 77 speed, pretty solid, and he's got a really inexpensive price. 490 is the starting bid to 900 for that guy. And so that silver Khalfani Muhammad is potentially a really nice budget beast. Another one that I really liked, you know, going through here, and I spent, I don't know how much time just going through cards on the auction house over this weekend. But Jonathan Taylor is another really nice ad, a little bit more expensive, 2,300. He is a 70 overall halfback, but again, 70 speed. But you can see he's got some pretty nice, you know, pretty nice stats. He's got improved trucking, 63 truck, better pass blocking, a little bit better stiff arm. Stiff arm is probably the only real skill move, that and spin, that I use frequently. His awareness is a little bit higher, and so I thought he was a potential interesting budget beast at that speed and at that setup. And then the other one that was really nice was Latavius Murray, and he's got a really nice low-level card, and a lot of people really like Latavius. And there you can see he's a 75. He's a little bit more expensive, 20K. I've seen him between 14 and 20K. Again, 77 speed. But you can see all the green compared to the 75 that I have, and he is a elusive back also. So you can see he's got nice stats for you know, agility. You can see his spin move, trucking, awareness, carry. All those stats are pretty good. Let me see if I can find Lindsay, and I'll try to get a story for you, Combine. If I don't get it this time, I'll get it on Wednesday. Yeah, Lindsay's not on the auction house. I've not seen him very much. I've not seen him much at all on the auction house, and we might have to continue the budget beast discussion on Wednesday also. Anyway, let's go back to Latavius. Latavius is one of the ones, though, certainly that I flagged. I thought he was a pretty nice find. If you can pick him up for 20K, then that's pretty solid. And you know, he's a little bit larger, so you're talking 6'3", 230. So even though you know, he's still going to be low strength and everything, he might be able to bowl over some of the early bronze, silver cornerbacks and safeties and linebackers that are going to be out there on the field. Where again, you know, Lindsey is a lot better in terms of you know, Barry Sanders-like, right, where you can fit through the gaps, squeeze through the little holes, and make something work. Let's maybe get in and play a quick game. Let's see how that bronze halfback looks. I really want to see him in gameplay and see if he's decent or what. So where is Huntley? Ah, that's funny. I already had a Huntley. Oh, that's funny. All right, so let's jump in, and we'll just do a league versus league sort of thing, so that way we can just play up and do some. Let's play against Carlton. He's got a pretty tough team right now. And let's take a look here and see what we can do. They're even matched on power. Yeah, I'm sure it did, Fred. I probably just didn't pay attention to it. It shows in the little red square at the top, just like normal, where it says, you know, you already have this card. All right, let's see what this guy can do. Let's do some. See if we can get him to the outside. Let's maybe do some wildcat counter. I think that should give it to Huntley. And let's see if he's got any speed to him at all. His acceleration's bad, so that's what I'm concerned about. Is whether or not he's going to have the acceleration to be able to get off a tougher defense, you know. Here's one of Reed's nice strengths with these short slant routes here. Hey, Huntley caught the ball. All right, let's try this again. Let's see if we can get let's get some read option. See if we can get well, let's go into the quarterback. We'll get one here. Yeah, I've got a couple QBs on my list that I think are pretty cool. Let's see if we can get a speed option going. Maybe this is almost surely going to be a pitch. There we go. Ah, couldn't get the pitch off. All right, let's see if we can get to the outside here. Let's let's go back to the wildcat jet counter. Man, if Carlton's defense, if I could get the handoff or get anything more than the handoff, we'd be good to go. Bad throw by Lamar Jackson. And you're going to get that. You know, you got to get used to having far more overthrows and underthrows than you're typically used to when you get back and you've got these bad you know, bad stats for these. Let's play one more. See if we can see what his speed looks like. I just want to see if he's fast. I haven't played with him yet. But he should be quick, but I don't know if his other stats, like I said, the acceleration really plays into it also. And I'm not sure if his acceleration may be too slow to make him super useful. Yeah, we'll do like strong toss. Should have swapped out coaches and put in for halfback base. That would have been a good one to put in. Let's go stretch. We'll see if we can get to the outside. My line just needs to block is the problem. Yeah, go Cowboys. All right, so there we can see a little bit of speed there. And again, my Lamar is 82, so you saw him playing. That's going to be a keep. He's not fumbling, which is good. Let's get some speed left going. Ah, man, come on. I got to get the pitch. I'm hitting the button there. He's got the jump. I don't know. His acceleration may hurt him. He seems quick, but that acceleration can be a real problem if it's not there. All right, let's jump back over and play. So I don't know. I got to play with him more and see. Certainly for speed, though, I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be an option. But I think certainly, you know, my favorite one out of the halfbacks there is probably the Jonathan Taylor or the Latavius Murray. I think that is probably my two choices for your top budget beasts for the start of the game. Let me. I don't see it on the auction house there. I was going to see if we have don't think we have any historical stuff in there yet. All right, so let's jump over and look at the tight ends. A few of those there. Now the tight ends, again, that top speed on the elite side, if we look at the elite tight ends that are available, actually probably need to look at the elite. There's the elite halfback. So you got a Mark Ingram, who's at 82 speed. You have a Le'Veon Bell that's at 80 speed, and you have Joe Mixon sitting at 82 speed, right? So again, if you can pick up the Huntley at 83, or if you can pick up Jonathan Taylor or Latavius Murray, those guys sitting at the 77, 79 mark, then you're going to be pretty solid, I think, in terms of keeping up even with some of the top elite players that are out there right now. So let's look at tight end. And let's pull up the elites. Let's look at what we have on the elite side. So this is the only one that's sitting on the auction house right now. We've got Travis Kelce, and Kelce is sitting as deep threat tight end, 80 speed. So that's what I'm noticing here is that most of these elites are sitting in the 80 to 84 range, 84 around the top range for these elites. But some of the key ones that we had, Jonnu Smith was an interesting one, I thought. He had, let me get out of the elites here. So if we look at Smith, then we're sitting at 79 speed here. He's another deep threat tight end. And you can see he's got some really nice stats compared to Tanyan, who I'm running right now at 70 overall. But you can see that +2 speed. He's got more awareness, better stiff arm, better route running, better spin moves. I mean, he's got quite a bit of improvement in terms of stats overall than my 70 overall. So this Jonnu Smith, and he's sitting right now at a really high buy now, though, but you can potentially look at him for a no, we've not. They usually give us, maybe give us a sneak sometimes, but no, we've not seen. I think the fan favorite stuff coming out. You guys saw that on Nick's stream the other day, and so that's where we're sitting with that one. So hopefully there'll be some cool ones in there. And I think Nick gave some of the fan favorites away early on. I'm really looking forward to that promo. I think that's going to be a cool one, being able to go all year that program, which will be cool. So let's see, the lowest overall, highest speed that we have is Tyler Davis, and Davis is sitting at 65 overall. Oh, come on, surely he's not all gone. Let's see. Let's go by first name. He's gone. So Tyler Davis was sitting at 65 overall with 76 speed. So pretty solid speed, 65 overall. So I think he was selling in the 400 to 900 range. Demetrius Harris was one of my favorite ones that I saw on here over the weekend. And gosh, of course he's not there either anymore. And so Demetrius Harris was a 71 overall with 78 speed, running in the 10K range for pricing. So also a really nice option. That was Demetrius Harris, 71 overall, 78 speed. Let's see if we can find Daniel Brown. Daniel Brown was a really low overall, but had really nice speed and a really good price. Man, all these TEs are gone right now. Have I got something set weird? Let me see. Let's make sure we don't have anything weird. Let's reset. Let's go in and do a reset all. Go to position, do tight end, and let's go back in here and put in Brown. All the tight ends are gone right now. They were just there. I double checked these this morning. Yeah, everybody's buying up the TEs. So the Daniel Brown was a 67 overall, 76 speed. So again, he's another one of those options where his strength wasn't very good. I'm sure he can't block a pass or run block or pass block at all, but just really nice speed to be able to get off the defense, get above the defense, whatever you need to be able to do. And again, for these skill positions early on, that's what I look for generally, is speed early on in the game. And then as the other stats start to catch back up, as the speed hits a certain plateau, then you start to see the other stats coming up to boost their overall, and then that's when I start looking for the more advanced or more detailed stats like catching traffic and run blocking, pass blocking, all that sort of stuff. But